Hi, good afternoon. My name is Roland Eva, and today I'd like to talk to you about how to get better results with less of your time. Now, I know this is like the holy grail. Everybody's looking for better results with less work, yeah? But is it really possible? Well, what I'm going to share with you today is how I've been able to enjoy this in my life and in my business. Now, as an entrepreneur, it's easy to work 60, 70 hours a week and not really move the needle in your business. So does that mean that hard work is irrelevant? No, of course not. Does that mean you need to work harder? No, of course not. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but if I work 80 hours a week, I'm absolutely wiped out for the next week. And in fact, if I work, if I do that for any length of time, I'm likely to get sick, and then it takes me a long time to recover. So it's actually a false economy. Yeah. I'm not actually winning in the long term. So the big question is, well, how can you get more done, or how can you get the right things done with the time that you have available? So this is where, I talk about the truth of time management, because time management is not about getting more things done. It's about getting less done. It's about being selective about what you're going to do. So how do you do that? Well, I talk about the importance of knowing your North Star. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Yeah. What is the one thing, or I call it the one thing. It might be one or two things, but no more than two. What are the one or two things that you want to achieve in your business? Or what is that one thing that is going to completely transform your business? Now, if you don't know what your North Star is, then spend time working that out, because that will pay dividends over the long run. But once you know what your North Star is, it becomes very, very simple to make, time management decisions about what you do. It becomes as simple as this. Is this going to help me take a step towards my North Star? If so, I'll do it. If not, it gets cut from your to-do list. Because, having an ever-increasing length to-do list doesn't actually help you. It doesn't help you get results. Whereas if you go, right, I'm only going to do the things that move me towards my North Star, then everything else gets cut. Everything else you can say no to. But how else can you really get better results with less of your time? Well, I talk about putting the 80-20 principle on steroids. So if you're anything like me, whenever somebody mentions the 80-20 principle, you start to roll your eyes and put your fingers in your ears. Because guess what? People talk about the importance of 80-20 and how you can get 80% of your results from 20% of your activity. Great. Everybody's heard it before. Who cares? Because unless you know how to identify the 20% of those tasks, you don't actually use it. So you know the principle, but you don't use it. What a waste of time. Stop talking to me about it. Yeah? At least that's what's going on in my head. But then I read a book by Perry Marshall, and he talked about 80-20 being a mathematical formula. And because it's a mathematical formula, it means that it can be multiplied. So 80-20 squared gives you 64% of your results from 4% of your activity. And 80-20 tripled gives you 52% of your results from 0.8% of your activity. In other words, 50% of your results comes from 1% of your activity. So if we just break that down into time, 1% of your time each week is 30 minutes. So the big question that I ask myself every week is, what is my 1% task? Or what are my 1% tasks? Yeah? What half an hour of my time is going to get me 50% of my results? Because that's a lot easier to see than 80-20 is. Because you suddenly go, right, I can speak to this one person and get a massive contract, and that gives me 50% of my results. It might give me more than 50% of my results. Yeah? So I'm not saying that writing blog posts and giving value and being seen and building up a trust presence isn't useful, but those are all 20% tasks. That's not a 1% task. A 1% task gives you a massive result. Yeah? And by focusing relentlessly on your North Star and your 1% tasks, you're able to get so much more done. You're able to get so much better results with less of your time. So that's how you can significantly move the needle in your business and not work to exhaustion. That's how you can start loving your business again. So the key thing is you must know your North Star and focus relentlessly on identifying your 1% tasks. That way it's easy to say no to things, and also with only 30 minutes out of your week, you can guarantee that you do it every single week. So if you found this useful, then please leave a comment below, and until next time, carpe diem.